Hi everybody, this is Bruce at Clayhorse Music in Boise. Today we're going to go over the song Sweet Georgia Brown. I'm going to show you the chord progression for the song and then a couple of different ways that you can play those chords. And also we're going to go into a little bit of the manouche or gypsy style of strumming, something called la pompe, which means the pump. It's a very rhythmic way of strumming the chords that works quite well for this song. Kind of the Django Reinhardt, Stefan Grappelli version of it. Also, I'm going to show you a very simple little lead part for the basic melody of the song, although this song is typically used as sort of a jumping off place for a lot of improvisation. So obviously that's something that you can just work out on your own, but I will give you the jumping off place in terms of the basic melody and you can start from there. So let's get started with the chord progression. Let's start off by going over the basic chord progression in the open position. It's in the key of E. We start off with E7th, A7th, D7th, G, and then B7th. Back to E7th, A7th again, and then there's a little turnaround. It goes to an E minor, and then a B7, repeats that, E minor, B7th, and then G, walk down to an E7th, and then the end of it is A7th, D7th, G. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play along with the Django Reinhardt version of the song, and I'm going to show you the strumming pattern that we can use for that. Okay, so that's through one set of chords. Now let's talk a little bit about how that strumming pattern works. Okay, the trick to this is to keep it very, very simple. Even though you'll see the music notated in 4/4 time, it's easier to think about this in 2/4 time. It's just like the country music, especially in the old days when they only would have a bass drum and a snare drum for the drummer. And everything had kind of a 2/4 time kind of feel to it, so it would kind of go boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck. That's the best way to think about this. Think about it in 2/4 time. So you have like boom chuck, and every time you hit the boom, like the bass drum, that will be your bass note. So just as simple as that. And the thing is, you can have variation in it. But the key thing is that you want an underlying consistency into the strumming pattern. So for instance, in Django Reinhardt's band, there were always at least 2 guitars playing the rhythm chords at the same time. Sometimes 3. So Django had his brother and one other additional guitar player playing just simple chord progression in the back. This would give it kind of that really nice, fat, full rhythmic sound, kind of like a steam engine running in the back. So with this boom chuck, you can try this. You go boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom, and you notice that I caught a upstroke there, just sort of out of force of habit. That's like a boom chucka, like a boom chucka, boom chucka, boom chucka, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chucka, boom chucka, boom chucka, boom, like that. Okay. So if we go through the chords. To an A7, to a D7, and on like that. Now I'm going to show you a different set of chords that are played up here higher. But these lower chords tend to work better with the boom chaka sound. The higher chords tend to work better if it's just straight boom chuck. So like 1, 1, 2. The lower chords are 1, 2 and. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, like that. So let's go through the Django version of it again now that you know how to strum it. And let's go through what I played before one more time. Play along with me. I'm just going to count down from G here. So it's really a lot of fun to play, and also you'll notice if you listen to the Django version of it, you'll hear some little accents like that. Again is just ornamentation. You will find though when I show you this other set of chords, higher, that if you want to play that kind of stuff, it needs to be played down on the open version of the chords, because the upper version only play 3 notes and the rest of them are muted. So down at the bottom you have a much better chance of pulling off that kind of thing. Also you'll hear that kind of thing going on, but remember that you always have at least one other guitar in there following that string boom chuck kind of that sound all the way through it. So you might have one guitar doing something like that. But that'll only work if you have another guitar laying down the basic foundation. So that's the open chords, and that's really all you need for this song in terms of accompaniment. But now for extra bonus points, I'm going to show you another set of chords that are typically used by the Gypsy guitar players. And remember, Django only had 2 fingers and a thumb, so he could do some barring, and he could use his thumb as a bass note. But remember that a lot of these chords were very much simplified. Okay, so let's go over that higher set of chords. So this upper set of chords can be used by themselves, or they can be used in combination with somebody else playing the chords in open position. But this style of playing is typical to the manouche of Gypsy or the La Pompe style of guitar playing. These chords are sort of unusual. Most of us don't really think along these lines when we're thinking about playing chords, but these chords are only 3 notes and all the rest of the other notes are muted. So when I talk about 3 notes, I'm always going to be talking about the 6th string, the 4th, and the 3rd string. So we're going to skip the 5th string. These chords, you basically play the root note with your 2nd finger, and then you mute the 5th finger by touching it slightly, and then you play 2 more notes on the 4th and 3rd string, and then you mute, or you don't hit, the 1st and 2nd strings. So you get this kind of an interesting, you can really hear it if you slide from the G down to an E7th. You hear it there. So let's talk about the whole set of chords that we went over in the open position, played up here in this abbreviated or 3-note position at the higher portion of the neck. The first chord, of course, is the E7th. That's going to be 7, 7, 8. So that's talking about the 6th, the 4th, and the 3rd string. 7, 7, 8. And then your A7th is 7, 6, 7. Your D7th is 5, 5, 6. Then you slide that down 2 frets to 3, 3, 4. And then you slide down to your B7th in the open position, but you play the bass note as an F sharp instead of a B. So those notes of those chords, the other part, the second half of the verse is the first two chords are the same, the E7, A7, and then we went to a E minor. So we're going to play that as a bar chord up here on the 7th fret. And then we're going to play a B7 like this. Play that again. And then we're going to come up here to a G, which is 10, 10, 11. And slide that down. And then very quickly we're going to go A7th, D7th, and then I like to hit a pretty solid bar G down here to give it a nice ending. If we use that abbreviated G, it's just a little bit too light to end that phrase on. So the thing that makes this easy is to always root these chords with your second finger. And then it's quite easy to change between these chords quickly and easily. The other thing you have to get used to is this notion of trying to get those three strings to ring out, especially you want that highest note. You want to be able to hear that. Because you only got 3 working notes in there, so you need all 3 of them. But you mute both with your left hand and with your right hand if you need to. And again, the 2/4 time boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, or boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck is exactly the same as if you played it down here. Okay? So now let's go through the chords again using both the open position chords and the upper position chords. So let's play through this accompaniment through 3 iterations of the verses. The first time through we're going to play in an open position, all the open chords. Second time through we're going to play in the upper position, and we're going to play a very simple boom chuck without a lot of fancy upstrokes in there. And then the third time through we'll play it a little bit more of a boom chucka kind of style. However you want to play it doesn't matter, but just see if you can kind of play along with this and start to get a feel for how this sounds and how to play it. It's just a very relaxed, simple style, and it's just kind of something that comes to you all of a sudden when you practice it enough. Okay, so let's get started here. Isn't technology amazing? And play along with a recording that was done back in 1937 or 1939 or something like that. But it gives you a very a good opportunity to pick up the feeling of the original kind of pump style of strumming that they used at the time. So it's quite useful to practice with this, and it's also nice to learn it in the same key that they played in so that you can play along with it. Okay, so now let's get into the lead part. Okay, let's finish up with a simple lead part that will allow you to do your own improvisation or wherever you want to take it from there. I always liked the original version of Sweet Georgia Brown that I heard when I was a kid, and that was the one that was for the Harlem Globetrotters with the whistling in it, whistle the lead part. Also, I'm going to put the link in the description to a video that's really hilarious. I think it's some Swedish musicians who are playing outside in a barn Sweet Georgia Brown to the accompaniment of a tractor. It's really phenomenal. You should really listen to it. It's hilarious. So that lead part that I just played, and of course there's different ways of playing it, but just let me give you this to start off with. We're going to be up here on the 9th fret. We're going to be playing the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. So we're going to start off, when I say 9th fret position, I mean we're going to cover the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th frets, and we don't have to move our hand anywhere. So 1 finger per fret. So we're going to start off with the 1st finger on the 3rd string on the 9th fret, and it's going to go like this. Okay, let's do that again. 1, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4, 1, 1. It's really a kind of an unusual feeling thing. You use your little finger to bar quite a bit. Okay, then the second part goes like this. That's starting again on the same note, but you go 1, 3, 4, 1. And then you bar with your little finger, and you 4, 4, 4, and then 1, 4, 4, 4, 1, 4, 2. So, excuse me. So that whole section, starting from the first part, I'm going to play the whole thing through slowly. Okay. Then it just goes down 2 frets and it plays the first part of what we played before, exactly the same. Okay. It's exactly the same as what we played up here on the 9th fret to start off with. And we're playing it on the 7th fret. And then it goes on the 3rd string. And then you can come back up here, play instead of playing that note, you can play it here on the 12th fret, 2nd string, and you can walk it down. And you can also play this 4th, actually it's a 3rd there, like that. Say. right back to the beginning again. And the same as before. Then it's on the 12th fret, 2nd string. And then down here to the 7th fret on the 4th string, excuse me, 3rd string, it's slide. So 7th fret, 3rd string, and then 2, 4, 1, 4, slide, bar, bar. Okay. Okay, and that's it. Of course, you hear a huge amount of improvisation on this song, and it can be pretty wild considering the chord progression, but that's up to you. And so I hope that you got the basics out of this video. It's a lot of fun to play this song, especially it's a lot of fun to learn that manouche style of playing the chords. That's something that you can use for a lot of different things, and it's really kind of a charming sound to put into your music if you're not using that already. So anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care now.